Well, that is very sweet of you to say.
Hello, horror comrades. HorrorMom.com here, and today we're actually going to be reviewing 2 movies for 1 video. And the reason why we're doing that today is because of the old remake factor. And this one is unusual because the movie was only 2 years old when they remade it, so very interesting. So we're going to be discussing the movies Speak No Evil. The original came out in 2022 and the remake came out in 2024, which is kind of unusual, but it's basically because the original movie is a Danish film and the Americans decided to redo it 2 years later and change up they actually changed it up quite a bit, which is probably a good thing. The Danish version, while overall is very good, it ends in a very bleak manner, and it could be too much, what I would say, for a lot of people. But the original was, we'll say, super, super disturbing. Both films pretty much have the same premise for the one half of the movie. You have a couple that has a daughter, and they're on holiday in Italy, and they meet another couple who has a son. And they really get along with this couple for the most part. They enjoy each other's company. The kids are getting along. It's just a nice, lovely holiday. And after they've gone home, our couple that has the daughter, the name of this family is Ben, Louisa, and Agnes. After they get back home, they hear from this other couple who is Patty, Kira, and Ant. And I'm using the names from the second movie just because they changed them up a little bit from the first and the second. Not much, but just to save confusion in this video, I'm going to refer to the names in the second film. So Patty and Kira, they actually reach out to Ben and Louisa, our family number 1 with the daughter, and say, come to our countryside home and have an extended weekend and we'll have a great time. And, you know, they convince them to come out there. So they do. And everything is going pretty well for the most part. But then there are some red flags that especially Louisa starts to see that just make her uncomfortable. She doesn't go with her gut on a couple things. You know, they knew that she was a vegetarian, and then all of a sudden they're kind of almost forcing her to eat meat. Some of it is just mannerisms, but some of it is the way that they speak to her daughter, or how the house is, you know, whether things are clean or where their daughter is sleeping while they're staying there. There's just a lot of things that start to bother mom. Another good example is they're asked to go out to dinner with the couple, and as they're getting ready to actually leave the house, a complete stranger walks up and comes in, and the Kira, the mom from the family that lives there, has set up to have a babysitter, and the children are not going to dinner with them, which Louisa is like, you know, I didn't know this. And you can just tell she wants to be like, no, we're not leaving. She doesn't know this person. It just would make an uncomfortable situation for a mother of a daughter when you're in a foreign country and you don't know these people. They go to dinner. The couple kind of does a lewd kind of act or makes them uncomfortable. The ride home, there's just all these things that start to kind of build up to the point where Louisa's kind of had enough. But every time there's a red flag and every time you think that Louisa and Ben are going to get out of this weekend, they don't. And it kind of continues on. And you gotta watch the movies to go see what happens. Both movies are disturbing. They're well acted. In the second movie, the 2024, one of the things I really liked, and I think that made it a better movie, is the children were much more involved. They had bigger roles, bigger parts. There were, you know, scenes that were just of the children and their interaction. A lot of the information that was revealed to Ben and Louisa and Agnes came in the parts with the children, and the children were smart. There's several things that they did that, you know, they just weren't some dumb kids. I really liked that part. I liked that change a lot. And another huge change was there was a lot of information that wasn't given in the first film. In the second film, we find out way more about this couple. We find out way more about what they've been doing. And we didn't have that information. And I think that the benefit of the first film, because I just recently went and rewatched it as well, The benefit that first film had is when you didn't have that information, especially the last 20-25 minutes of the film, it made it very tense and scary. So it's like they both did things differently and it worked in their favor. So that's one thing I liked. They both were different, but it worked. And yeah, it's interesting. The other thing that was different in the remake, Ben and Louisa are having some marital problems. Louisa had been caught sexting someone that she knew back home in the States, and that happened 6 months ago. They've been getting counseling, so you can definitely tell that that has been affecting their marriage. The other big thing with them is that they are living in London now. They are from the US, and they moved there for Ben's job, which went kaput as soon as he went there. So they've moved, they've uprooted themselves for his job, which is now gone. He's unemployed. So Louisa has definitely some resentment issues towards Ben for the move. And then of course you have Ben resenting Louisa for what she did. So that dynamic really, I think, made the characters in the remake much more relatable, and you felt more attached to them because they were so real. They had real problems, and yeah, in the first one, there were no marital issues that we were aware of. And like I said, there was a lot of information that we were given in the second one about the couple that lived in the countryside that we didn't have in the first one. So those were the main differences, along with the endings. These films end very differently. So which one are you gonna watch? That's the question. Well, what I'm gonna tell you is I'm going to give the remake, the 2024 version, a 7.5. I think it is a very good movie. It is still disturbing and scary and tense and all of those things. It's just different. There's more information. There's a lot more going on. There's a couple extra characters, and I do highly recommend it. I'm gonna give the original a 6.5. I do recommend it. I'm glad that I watched the original and I was aware of it before the remake. I think that I got a lot out of it that way. If you're a true horror connoisseur, go watch the original first and then watch the remake, hands down. I think that's what you should do. If you're just looking for a good horror movie that I would highly recommend, then just watch the remake. You can stay away from the from the very disturbing one. Before I forget, another thing about the second one that I have almost forgot to mention is the cast and the acting. They have a great cast. It's a notch up in the acting on the second one. You have James McAvoy and Mackenzie Davis, who Mackenzie Davis I've seen in several things. She does a brilliant job as Louisa. She is perfect for this role. Because I'm a mother as well, I could very much relate to her. And every time she would see one of these red flags, and I would be like, go with your gut, go with your gut. So she's very relatable. This part was perfect for her. If you really like scary films and you like horror content, watch them both, 100%, absolutely. And again, like I said, watch the first one first and then go to the 2024. And I would love to know, if you have seen both films, which one did you like better? Do you agree with my scoring? Do you think the original is better? These films, if anything, will make you think about who you hang out with when you're on a vacation. And if I were to give any parenting tips, I will tell you, if your child has a bear, a puppy, a bunny, a boo-boo, a blankie, whatever it is, make sure you know where it is at all times if your child can't live without it, or have two of them. Get a duplicate, hide it from your child, and make sure you've got that in case you lose the other one. That's just my parenting advice for the day. So, all right, let me know in the comments, guys. I would really love to know what you think, and I hope that you have a great day. One last thing I'm gonna tell you is where these movies are available. The 2024 Speak No Evil is on Peacock now for streaming, and the 2022 is on AMC, Shudder, and you can find those on Amazon Prime. Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear some comments. All right, have a great day, guys. Thanks.
No one's forcing you to stay, but I really hope you do, because today is gonna be a great day.